Hello everyone, welcome back to Wisdom Whispers with Abhishek Mittal. We are here with yet another episode and another guest with us. Before we get into the topic and the guest introduction, let's look at one good quotation by Jay Summit. Pivoting is not the end of the disruption process, but the beginning of the next leg of your journey. So, today we will be talking about the role of pivoting in one's career. Pivot is more of a state of mind to say, what's working? What do I want to do next? And how can I run small experiments to get there? And we will be talking about this with our guest today, Uttam Kumar. He's a founder at FrenzoPay. Uttam has had an interesting story, and a few of the key moments in his career have been about the desire to pivot to a new role or to a new industry. He started out in pharma, but pivoted to teleperformance for the want of more exposure and better life. Then again, as a mean of growing further, he pivoted when he became an entrepreneur. He took his learning from the call center industry and set up Accord PR. Then a few years later, he pivoted again, and this time with a mission to solve the problem he has previously faced as an entrepreneur. 3 pivots in a career, 3 different motives. So let's welcome Uttam Kumar to Wisdom Whispers with Abhishek Mittal. Welcome, Uttam, to the show.
Thank you so much.
So, Uttam, before we get into the conversation, I know it will going to be a very interesting discussion. Can you just take us through the 3 pivots you had in your career? I know I'm saying 3. It might be more than that.
It's more than that, actually.
But 3 interesting pivots, or the pivots in your career and how you have taken it in your life.
Right. Abhishek, before we move further, I want to just touch the topic of this pivoting, what exactly it is. See, pivoting is being done by us on an everyday basis also. What does it mean? If you want to do something, suppose you are doing exercise, or if you want to reach somewhere, after a certain time, you realize that I could have reached that particular place via this place. So what did you do? In order to achieve something, you took a different turn and achieved that goal in a very shorter time. This is called pivoting.
Right.
Now, this applies to your career also. It applies to your when you are a student, when you are a professional, or once you are in a business, or you are an entrepreneur. So these pivoting plays an important role, and unknowingly, we all do it. If we talk about our parents, mother, in order to provide the better services or better experience to our children, they always do these kind of pivoting. Now, so far as I am concerned, before I start with my major 3 pivoting, I'll just take you back to the studies where I have done my studies. My dad, he spent more than 36 years in Indian Air Force. So my education qualification is from different places, from Rajasthan, from Army School to the Air Force School in West Bengal, then Chennai, then Maharashtra and all. This is how my education has been done. Now, basis on that, before in 2000, when I started off my career, professional career, before that also did a lot of small works. But as an industry, if you talk about, I started off with the pharmaceuticals. Lot of learning. We got 3 to 3.5 years of training, months of training in the pharmaceuticals. You learn about the pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics of a medicine. And with that, 2 months of knowledge, you are going to pitch to one of the highest educated person of the society, that's called doctor, right? You're going there and you have the audacity to teach them and convince them to write your product, write your medicine.
Right.
So you can understand how much preparation one has to do. Before you go, you need to take care of your dressing sense, because you are going to a doctor. You need to study also what you are saying. You need to study a lot. You never know what doctor would ask you. So this is how your presentation skill will come into the play. You learn the presentation skill. You need to sell yourself before you sell your product, be it medicine or anything else. You need to sell yourself. How you going to stand in front of the doctors. I was very happy about it. Now you would ask me, where is the pivoting coming into the play? When I spoke to my people, I was there in different places. I was there in Faridabad also. I was in Muzaffarpur also. I was in the very tier 5 city of India in Bihar, which is the border of Bihar and this Nepal, Balmiki Nagar and Bagha and all. I spoke to one of my friend's son, friend's brother. He said that he is in a call center I know what exactly it is now. He said that, what is your salary? Obviously, first thing you will ask, you compare the salary first. I was getting X amount. Let's take a ballpark figure of 10,000. When I spoke to him about how much you are getting, he said 35,000. And he was 5 years younger to me. And he was getting somewhere close to 35, 40,000. And then he used to get the incentive of 50,000. I could not take this. I could not. I am 5 years elder to you. I have more experience. And I'm getting at least 5-6 times lesser than you. What exactly you do? He said, I go to a call center. Cab comes and pick me up. Cab. I mean, car is coming to you. Okay. Free food. Free snacks. You coffee and everything is so all like free flowing, and English speaking environment. And his friend said that one of his friends went to US also. That was a trend at that time.
Right.
There the pivoting come into the play. I sat down, what I am doing. I am better than him in many, many ways. And I'm getting 10,000 and the same guy who is 5 years elder to me. So this pivoting comes, how can I achieve that same thing? So from there, I was in Bihar working. Then I left that particular job. Yes, pivoting does require a lot of planning, lot of permutation, combination before you take a step. What if this happens? What if it does not happen that way? So this thing happened. And I joined the BPO industry. So this is how from one pharmaceutical industry to a unknown industry that is called the BPO at that time. If you're talking about 2003, it was a totally different.
Right.
And my father being in Indian Air Force, he was there. What you are doing? What is call center? What is call center? This is a part-time job and all.
Yeah.
Health issues. You're doing the graveyard shifts and all. But somehow I joined it and I spent somewhere close to 7 years. That was a totally different thing. Something which you're selling on the street, so-called going to the doctor's chambers, all of a sudden you are over the phone. Your skill set totally different. In doctor's chamber, what you're doing is you sell yourself and then your product is sold ultimately. Here, somebody who is in America does not know you nothing about you, right? It is the voice which is listening. So the 30 seconds in our training also, we used to be taught that this 15 seconds would decide your future of your sales journey.
Right.
So this 15 seconds, what should be my voice modulation? How should I say? How much enthusiasm should have to have in my voice? So this is what exactly I learned. So industry is now BPO. I learned a lot of things there. And then by the grace of God, I went to US in Washington Mutual Bank. The back-end process was there. So I was there in San Francisco, learned a lot from there also. And when I came back to India, I joined in another company. And that was a major turning point there. I was an operational guy. When I reached there I got the exposure of not only operations, finance, HR, then how to make the P&L, right? Those kind of things. So I ran that particular business for nearly 1.5 years. So there I actually got to know that this is how the businesses are run. So then after that, I ventured into my own setup. I started my own company. So there I also, did wonderful work, learned a lot of things, fell a lot of time, a lot of failure, a lot of tears, sleepless nights, success, failure. This is how I, continued that particular venture.
Yep.
Now, again, the third pivot comes into the play. We were generating, revenue. And at that time, there was one client for whom we were generating some online businesses. So at that time, there was a need of a payment gateway. I'm talking about the experience of 2013, 12, 15 kind of
when
payment
we
gateway.
Don't had anyone.
The payment gateway, like there was few companies there. And there was a huge problem. You ask them, they will reply to your mail. After 15 days, they will revert your mail. Then you submit all the KYCs. They will take their own time. By the time your integration comes, it is already 2 months gone. Then the integration will take 1 month after 3 months of time gone by. And it made me very irritated that I have my business. I want to start my business and the payment gateway is not there. Few players. And then you are on the mercy of those players. So I found a gap there. Because when I was in this business, there were other people of mine, my colleagues also, they were also looking for the payment gateway. This is something payment gateway click in my mind. Fintech industry. I was from a different background altogether. So this pivoting came into the mind that how about there is a gap and there is a huge demand and there gonna be a huge demand. So I said that let's do some brainstorming and all. So started meeting industry people, did some research. Then I realized that this is the industry. So this is how the third pivot came into the play of going into the fintech, an unknown territory. So this is all about the pivoting which has happened in my life. And I'm sure there are a couple of more projects which I'm doing. It will come during the course of time.
Okay, great, and such a great story, right? And as you said, like it's a part of the daily life.
Yes.
This we cannot keep it aside and say, oh no, I'm doing this and I want to do this, but knowingly and unknowingly, you keep pivoting
Yes.
at every part of your career. Either it's a personal life or it's a professional life. We do our pivoting in our lives. So
True.
absolutely. And coming from healthcare to payment gateway, right?
What was your subject in graduation? And this is different. It's kind of pivoting, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
What did
So
you do?
I did my computer engineering, then
Oh.
did an MBA in finance, and then into research, into business research. So the same theory, right? When you're working 10, 15 hours and you're getting X, and you see consultants, let's say iBankers, and they earn with the same time, same dedication to the work, they earn X amount of that.
True.
Why don't you get there? Right? Why don't you pivot yourself into something which will give you more returns?
Very true. I agree on this.
So I pivoted from research to consulting, and that's where I am. So,
okay. Any other pivoting now happening?
Yeah.
From
So
this
this
consulting
is another
to
pivoting which I'm happening,
entrepreneurship.
right? So I'm getting into giving back to society, that how I can give back, because when you have spent so many years, you have got so many things from your country, from the people around you.
True.
It's then you think that how I can give back to society, right? And this is the one way I'm thinking now, that how
You're helping
I can
new entrepreneurs and people, those who want to jump into this particular stream.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is really going to help them.
Entrepreneurs, professionals who are starting new. Usually, as you said, right? Not everyone is lucky enough, or they have get into an Ivy League colleges. And there are hundreds of, which we call it tier 2 colleges, and then these people need some support, right? And someone needs to help them. So that's what we are trying to do with this medium. So that's another pivot.
Very nice.
But yeah, so that's how we are doing it. Okay, great. So and I think we have already touched it, but maybe I will ask you that why you think is pivoting important, right? In one's career. And when you look back at your career, how do you think that the pivoting help you in the longer run?
See, wherever there is an improvement, there is pivoting. Improvement, when you talk about improvement means something which was happening, whether it's a business or a career or even a student. The student, if they did not get a desired marks, there is a need of improvement. In our entrepreneurship or in our business also, we have some targets, right? We have targets. We achieve it. At the end of the day, once we go for our QBR and MBRs, we see that we did not achieve this particular target. Whether it's a customer satisfaction, whether it's a customer experience, let's talk about the customer experience. We have 98% or 95% customer experience. That means there are certain group of customers, those who are not happy. There is an improvement required. So pivoting is required. So in this entire journey, if I'll say, whenever I did the pivoting, I went up. Not only in terms of growth, I would say, in terms of my interpersonal skills also, right? And those pivoting from a different background, pharmaceuticals, where you are actually roaming on the road. Then when you talk about the BPOs, over the phone calls, and then in this fintech industry, totally different industry altogether. What is one thing common here is people. And people is the most important, and I would say most important thing and most difficult part also. So this journey has actually helped me understand people more from very near, and to such an extent that I can wear their shoe and think from their perspective. So this actually helped me in my business, and it's going to help me in my future businesses also. If you talk about the growth of the company or understanding the business also. So this is what the overall experience which I have got so far.
Great. So if I have to let's say summarize this, right? So you picked up one point which is like to look beyond what you are doing, right? That's very important. Second
Very
is the
true.
people which are
Yes.
around you, that how you can learn more about them, how you can work with them to improve their life as well as your life,
True,
right?
because as an entrepreneur, you have not only the responsibility for their salary part,
Mm-hmm.
you have the entire responsibility of their well-being.
Yes.
Well-being means not only the salary part, their health part also,
Yeah.
right? Their family life also. This is how you will have the stickiness and the loyalty, and as well as this is your responsibility also. So this is very much important.
Right. And to like another aspect which you have discussed, that why it is important, I'm just thinking from that perspective, right? Acquiring new skills, what you have done, right? You have researched around the subject before you get into that, right? The fintech industry. And I think another thing which we discuss is staying relevant as well, right?
Very true.
Otherwise someone will kick you out.
We have numerous examples. Every time when we talk about, if you're not matching the pace with the current changes, we have a clear-cut example of Nokia, right? We have an example of this Kodak and all. So the thing which I have in this fintech industry is this: I have to study a lot here. I used to run away from here. I used to have a arm distance with the studies, but now I am in such a industry where I have to study. Every now and then RBI's new regulations coming up,
Yeah.
right? Then you have to study about the cross-border, thing, because RBI is coming up with a lot of regulations. So you need to study also what is happening at the global level, right? Suppose there is one particular app, suppose,
Mm-hmm.
which is working today. You never know, tomorrow it might go away. So you need to keep on innovating, keep on learning, keep on investing your time with the global partners, so that I follow most of the time the Forbes,
Mm-hmm.
And in that there have been a lot of talks about the technology people and all. I see that what's happening 10 years from now with them, this will happen to us. So that particular technology which is existing, it might vanish anytime. So I am also there in the fintech. So I need to keep on studying, keep on reading, keep on doing innovations to match the pace with this ever changing. Every fortnight, something changes. So it gives you a sleepless night to study a lot.
And the next thing which comes to my mind when we say pivot is like what we should ask ourselves, right, before we get into think about pivoting. And I'm talking more from a perspective of people who are starting new in their career, right? And or maybe getting into an entrepreneurship uh, journey, and it's too early for them. So what they should like think before they get into the mode of pivoting.
See, I have changed the industry 3 times, 4 times, I would say. Something very much important is that nowadays everybody want to become a founder. Everybody want to become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
They want to have the visiting card written
Startup.
founder, startup, something like that. Yes, it is good thing. But just for the name you want to do this, then I have some reservations there.
Mm-hmm.
I had the fire in my belly to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Then it became a founder or something like that. I wanted to do something. So my advice to people, those who want to jump into this particular field or entrepreneurship, is that first you should have to have a fire in your belly, just not for the namesake of founder or become an entrepreneur or startup, something like that. That is the one thing. You have to have in the inclination towards solving something. I solved something when I started off with my fintech industry, that there was a gap with the customer experience and the payment transactions happening. So in the same way, if they find some gap, stick to it and give your heart and soul to it. This is the first criteria.
Right.
Second criteria is, now you got to study.
Mm-hmm.
You need to study. You need to have the multiple counseling is always better. Talk to the relevant people and have your research done. And never go for this thing that some VC would come and fund you. No, that is not the right approach. And then VCs now also have become very prudent enough before putting in money now. So they have already burned their hand. So if you're doing something like that, proper research, take some I would say have some, I would not say godfather, have some mentor.
Yeah.
Have group of mentors from a different industry. They will guide you what you got to be doing. And then make your calculations. Make your calculation. How much fund do you have? How much you can run? What are your contingency plans? Plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. Because I always have a plan D in myself. In my or any business which I do, I will never go for plan A and plan B. What is plan C? What is plan D? So they got to have a plan A, B, C, D. And one thing very, very important is act. Let not your idea be dying into worksheets and blueprints and more of a talking and all. Fine, but start something. Start something. Start early, fail early, learn early, start again, and get richer in terms of your growth, in terms of your interpersonality skills, and in terms of giving to the society. Start. This is what I want to say.
So if I have to just, I'm just trying to summarize it, like the kind of questions one should ask themselves before they do pivot. And pivot means even in the personal career, in the jobs, right? Outside of entrepreneurship as well. So, I'm taking it up from like what we have discussed, what you are putting up the points like. So, one, seek mentorship,
Yes.
right? Gain practical knowledge, right? Network and connections.
Very much important.
Financial preparedness.
Yes.
As you said, right?
Correct.
You should have that, right? Risk tolerance. Another very important thing. Even if it's a career, right? So you need to first ask yourself that how tolerant are you with the risk? There are certain people who are not they don't want to take risk. That's okay. If you have to, but ask these questions. Another important question is your passion and interest.
True.
Sometimes you are not passionate, as you said, right? I don't just want my visiting card saying that, oh, I'm a founder of X company. If I'm not passionate about certain thing, then don't do it. These are the questions which you need to ask yourself before you think of pivoting. And another important part is update your brand. Let's say when you were pivoting from healthcare to fintech, right? You updated your brand as a fintech guy. So these are the few things which are important, which I think when I pivoted, I asked these questions to myself. And if I'm not getting answers of all those, and it happened to me, I was thinking of something and I was not getting answers of like two, three questions. I said, no, Abhishek, this is not the right time to pivot, or this is not the right thing to do, because you don't have the answers. You are not ready. So these are the things which are important before you think of pivoting.
And one of my bosses, he mentioned this thing to me, that if you want any idea to be taking place and your idea becomes a tree, kind of, first criticize that idea till death, right? Criticizes in every aspect. Criticize it, make sure that this idea dies.
Yeah.
When it dies, there exactly the seed of inspiration and the seed of possibility comes. So this is one of the things one should always consider while jumping into this particular.
Oh, I can relate to Jeff Bezos, right? So he had this idea of selling books online.
Yes.
Way back, and
True.
nobody was ready to support him because he had such a good job. He was a vice president at DE Shaw, so one of the best like hedge funds during that time. And he said, no, but let's do it. And he connected with hundreds of mentors during that time, and everyone killed that idea.
True.
Everyone, even his boss at DE Shaw, he said, great idea, but are you ready to take the risk?
Here I want to add one thing. If you're doing any kind of a business, and if you're not getting the desired result, don't pivot, because pivot is something you do your calculation, you do your research, you do a lot of planning. But there are certain cases, we have entrepreneurs, we have so much successful people, they stick to their ideas for nearly 15 years.
Yes.
So that particular thing also one should always keep in the mind. Okay, we are talking about pivoting. Yes, there's a different circumstance, different situations. In that circumstances, we take our decisions, because our circumstances are totally different from the others. But there are certain entrepreneurs, they stick to their idea for nearly 10 years, 15 years. Then they got the success, and their success was multifold times, So we are not advocating that one should always go for the pivoting. Yep. It is your own choice, your own circumstances. One should take the decision.
Absolutely. So one more question which comes to my mind, I think, and it comes to everyone who's doing pivoting, is there's a fear of failure, right? and it's quite possible that I'm doing a pivoting and I fall flat on my face. I'm not successful. What should I do then?
I say one thing to you. I have one idea which is gonna solve all the problems of the world when it comes to divorce. Don't marry.
Yes.
Don't marry. There's
Yeah.
no divorce.
Yeah.
Right. So fear is a shackle. Fear is a handcuff. It's gonna paralyze you if you talk about the fear. Again, I said, you and I, we have been working in a professional environment. When we used to get the salary, we used to be amazing. When there used to be a pressure, we used to think, one day I'll have my own company. Your 90%, 95% of your friends are still in that state that they have this thing. One day I will do this. I'm just saying, forget about this fear. Forget about the problems. Just jump and do it. Just dump and, one thing. Secondly is, at what age are you doing?
Mm-hmm. Very important.
At what age? I am not advocating this is somebody who is in a particular bank job, has 45 years of age and doing something and all of a sudden leaving everything and jumping. No. At what stage of a career you are, that depends. But one thing is that there are a lot of things now in this world wherein you being in a service class, you still do something.
Yes.
Being in a job, you can still do something. There are a lot of online courses happening, online sellings happening. At least do something. At least do something. And then Mother Nature is as such, you will learn automatically. It is as such. Just jump and do it. But don't drown. Huh? That's what I'm saying. Just live.
I think staying resilient is very important, right? So absolutely. Great discussion, Uttam. I think it's a very valuable session.
Yeah, we learned a lot of things from you also. Very nice session it is.
Thanks. So I think with this, we will move into our next section.
What is that?
That's Unwind. So
Unwind.
We'll not talk about now pivoting.
Industry. Acha.
We'll not talk about pivoting. We'll talk more about you and how you live your life, right?
Okay.
And what people think of you and how we do all these things.
Okay.
So I will have a few questions. So we'll go through that.
Okay. You fire me a question bullet, I'll also fire you.
Yeah, that's okay.
One question bullet. Okay. Okay, let's start.
So now we know that you are a big music fan.
Yes.
You follow Mohammed Rafi, right?
All the singers. Yes, favorite is Rafi Saab.
Rafi Saab, right? Any song, anything which you think that you can relate to it?
See, somebody asked him, how can I be a good singer? He replied, first become a good person. Such a simple guy. He gave his house to other, film industry people to live, and they were not giving the rent. So as a person, I love him so much. Such a down-to-earth guy, such a divine voice. And this is what I like. But obviously, voice is like divine voice.
Any particular lyrics which you try to imbibe in your life?
Every time, like if you see on Saturday, Sunday,
any one piece which you think that to be honest, like one of his song I try to follow is "Main Zindagi Ka Saath Nibhata."
I was about to say the same. The saying from myself. This is what comes in mind.
Yeah.
Like whatever happened. Let's move on.
Yeah. So like it's such a nice thing. Okay. So any books which you have read in the past 1 year, 2 year, which you would like to recommend?
Yes, I have been learning. I said that read. But yes, I would say somebody who wants to start the career, the basic is communication skills, right? And how, for that one book which was given to me by my sir, is that How to Make Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie.
Oh.
It's a basic. One should start with this. Second is How to Win, Shiv Khera.
Yes.
It has talked about from an Indian context, right? And third is that once you are dealing with the money, obviously one book is a Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
Robert. This is the basic one should start. However, I have just read about the Ashnir's book, Duglapan, and I have read this Limitless.
Oh.
That's nice, amazing.
Yes.
I mean, rest there are more, like Atomic Habits, and then Think Big, how to become big, those books.
Great. Thanks. One advice you want to give a starting out version of yourself, let's say at the age of 20, if you have to give one advice to yourself.
See, Warren Buffett said, why did not I start doing
Yes.
at the age of, I think, 9 or 11,
Yeah, yeah.
11 something.
Yes.
I say the same thing. I started off at about age of 31, 32.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I would have started by 20, at the age of 20.
Great. One person whose brain you can pick anytime.
Can I pick 4, 5? No?
One
Okay.
person.
Two.
Okay.
Warren Buffett
Uh-huh.
and Steve Jobs.
Lovely. I admire both of them. Okay. So, what has been on your mind recently that you might want to share with listeners?
See, this is the tough one because today something good happened. I'm in a different jolly mood.
Yes.
Right. Tomorrow some pressure comes, some issues come. I'm in a different mood. Then I'm in a different mood altogether. Right. One I would advise is that people should listen to their parents. Should listen to their parents. Don't listen somebody else. Just listen to the parents at least. That front one should always take care of. One should always take care of.
Great. I know because your father is in in armed forces, right? So, but how your parents define what you do?
Oh, you know what? We are this, we are that, we do what not. You have so much followers and all. When it comes to home, okay, खाना नहीं खाता, ठीक है. He does not know. Every time he's there on the laptop, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, nothing is happening. He does not give time. He does not have that much of time for not only for us, for himself. He should take care of his health. They don't care what you do.
Okay.
What they care is that you should be happy. My son should be healthy and happy. And for that, he should spend time with the family and the children. This is what exactly they always say. They don't know what exactly. They know, okay, I'm doing something good. That is the reason they could see, okay, house is good, car is good, everything is good. But just that they are more concerned about the health of ourselves only.
One last question before we
Yes.
wind it up. So, any one particular application which you have been using for maybe for your making your life easy, or even professionally?
See, app. Before I go to the app, I'm gonna be 46-year-old, right? And when we started off, there was no app. There is only one app, that was the Excel sheet, right? So I still in a habit of Excel sheet, though I'm from a fintech background. Contradictory, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But still I go. I have, I have done the partition like this. One is the urgent, important, delegation, and on hold. So this is how I prioritize my work. Urgent, that means 4 to 5 work which I pick up. I got to make sure that it has been done.
Mm-hmm.
Important, okay, this important will come from important to the urgent, which I'll do. Delegations are required, which are like personal, professional also, that will be delegated. There are certain things which is on hold, like wishing somebody, right? That is on hold. When the right time will come, it will come. So I'm an Excel sheet guy. But yes, I'm promising you, I'll go for some kind of an app which really gonna make my life a bit easy.
Absolutely. There
Excel
are
is what I'm
so many apps which are there. But to be honest, Excel is one of the best things
Yes.
which we have. So
Things to do, start
I
with things
still
to do.
follow
This
that.
is what I said.
And when I look at my consulting experience, a lot of clients, and I'm talking about multinational Fortune 100 companies, they still prefer Excel. If you will throw them some good funky things, they will say, "Oh, can we do it on Excel?"
See, I have my lot of friends are there. Those who are there in fintech, those who are there, they're running their NBFCs, but still they have the Excel sheet.
Yeah.
Banks also, they use it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one thing which will not going to die in the next 20 years, which I can
Yes.
see. So, with that, we will end this conversation here, Uttam. Thanks a lot for joining us for this conversation.
My pleasure, rather, Abhishek. It was a lovely talking, Got to know about a lot of things, and really I got to know about myself. When you asked me those questions, I forgot actually. It was not there in my mind for so many years. I'm feeling so good about it now.
Thanks a lot for that.
My pleasure, rather.
Thanks for joining us. So this was an episode with Uttam Kumar on importance of pivoting in life, right? So we had some great learning, some great discussion with him. And if I have to summarize it, very difficult, but we have discussed about that how willingly and unwillingly we pivot in our career, in our personal life, professional life, right? Are we ready to take risks? Are we ready to take calculated risks? How we should take those calculated risks, right? We should have plan A, B, C, D ready, because not everyone can take any amount of risk which is not known to them. So it's important for us that we work towards a goal and we achieve that. And that's what he said, right? Jump onto it. You should have a fire in your belly if you want to pivot something. So we will keep bringing you some more of these food for thought conversations. If you enjoyed this episode, do let us know. And if you have any feedback or want us to pick a certain topic, reach out to us on Gmail, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Below are the links. Also, do remember to share it with your friends, family, and colleagues. And also to like, subscribe to us if you are watching it on YouTube, and follow us if you are listening to this on an audio platform. This is me, Abhishek Mittal, signing off. We will be back next week with another fascinating conversation. See you soon.